Assalamu alaikum. This is Whitechapel in East London where there's a large Muslim community. I've come here to learn more about Hajj fraud.
Every year, over 3 million Muslims perform Hajj by travelling to Mecca in what is the world's largest gathering of people. And up to 25,000 British Muslims are among those making their annual pilgrimage to Saudi Arabia.
I've yet to make this personal pilgrimage, but I know from others that all have found Hajj to be spiritually enriching.
Many have saved for years to afford what is potentially for them a once-in-a-lifetime journey.
Every Muslim must fulfill Hajj if they are able to do so. Hajj is a sacred experience and one of the 5 pillars of the Islamic faith. However, every year as Hajj approaches, a significant number of Muslims who have paid for a tour package for themselves and their family find their plans left in tatters or ruined by fraudsters. Some pilgrims will arrive to discover the accommodation they've booked does not exist. Others, like Muhammad from Birmingham, discover their whole trip is a scam, set up by criminals. Muhammad had already performed Hajj once, but lost £4,500 when he booked a second pilgrimage.
Everything that he had was looked legitimate. The documents that he presented to me were legitimate, and I had no reason to question it up until when nothing got sent to me. So, for example, when I asked for e-tickets, the e-tickets that he supplied were purchased with a stolen credit card and were never bought. And when I rang the airlines, because I was getting curious because I wasn't receiving anything, that when my alarm bell started ringing. And then when I started challenging him and asking him for different information, he started trying to not answer my phone calls, and that's when the behaviour is indicative, in my opinion, of somebody who isn't going to fulfil their promises. And by that stage, I'd already paid the money. I'd paid the money. The trick with this fraudster was that he wanted the money well in advance of the Hajj program. So the first payment I think I made was in about July, and it was half the balance. And then during Ramadan of 2012, which happened to be in August, I paid the other half. And when I paid the other half, he gave me these wonderful receipts, payment receipts, and I didn't really challenge anything because I'd previously paid like this before, so I'd not really had any inclination that he was not going to fulfill. It was only at the time of the fact that the e-tickets hadn't come through that I started getting worried about the package. That was he going to deliver.
How did your friends and family respond when you told them what had happened?
It's quite embarrassing. It's an embarrassing situation to find yourself in. I didn't know how to tell my family because I'm supposed to be an educated person. I'm supposed to be somebody who conducts research, who looks into a package and thinks about it, reflects on it before purchasing it. And here I am, who's purchased a package for a religious, one of the fundamentals of Islam, one of the 5 pillars, going to Hajj to fulfill that pillar, and I was being defrauded. So when I told my family, I felt embarrassed.
In my capacity as the National Coordinator for Fraud, the City of London Police has now launched this campaign. We urge anyone who believes they've been a victim of Hajj fraud to report it to Action Fraud.
While Muhammad suffered financially, he wants others to be aware of how to avoid his experience.
It's a criminal act. These people have made millions out of this. Would have made thousands of pounds out of the fraud. The fraud that I got involved in, I ended up finding people on Hajj. I met 70 people who have been defrauded by the same individual at the same time that I was defrauded. And every single person that I met all had a story to tell. However, there were some people who could never come to Hajj. So last year, even though I was defrauded, I came to Hajj. But I know people who are elderly, who were defrauded by the same individuals who couldn't come. And I don't even know if they're still alive this year to be able to go. Yeah, I just pray that the people that go to Hajj, they pray for all the Muslim Ummah, and yeah, I just say to the fraudsters that this will catch up with you. You won't get away.